Baby names don't have a gender. Ignore this, not for resale. This is my book. It's called Names Don't Have a Gender. And my second book is called Names Don't Have an Age. I want you guys to open your minds with me, to think outside the box, because we are going to look at some beautiful feminine names that can be given to boys and beautiful masculine names that can be given to girls. Because remember, names don't have a gender. I will say that it's probably easier to talk about than to actually put into practice these kind of gender-bending names. But I also want to point out that so many names have flip-flopped over the years and over decades, and something like Lindsay, which is mostly given to women now, used to be exclusively given to men, and that can continually happen with baby names. If you're new to my channel, my name is Steph. I'm a baby name consultant, a content creator, an author, a mom of 3, and a lover of all things whimsical. I put out 2 baby name videos a month, as well as one personal video. I'm currently going through a breast cancer experience. I don't want to say battle, but I guess. And also I like to talk about how I became a name consultant. I might actually do some parenting content at some point. Put in the comments if you have any suggestions of what you'd like me to talk about besides baby names. But every month on this channel, there will be 2 baby name videos. The first thing I want to talk about is gender neutral names and how they can lean feminine or masculine. This is so nuanced and also very subjective. And I want to just say that this is my job. It's my job to read your criteria of what you want for your baby and to say, okay, they actually want something that really sounds masculine for their daughter, or actually they want something that's given to both boys and girls, or they want a feminine leaning gender neutral name. So they don't really want a fully masculine name. They want something that will imply it's a girl, but also is still considered gender neutral in society. It probably sounds really confusing, so let me give you some examples. Here are some examples of feminine leaning gender neutral names: Aspen, Madison, Quinn, Skylar, and Taylor. Now let's go the opposite direction. These are masculine leaning gender neutral names: Cameron, Casey, Grayson, Hollis, Jordan. And finally, here are some names that are truly gender neutral in that they are ranking in about similar spots for both boys and girls. I actually have an entire video of the most gender neutral names. If you want to take a look, I will link that here. Some examples would be Avery, Finley, Morgan, River, Robin, and Shiloh. We're going to start with 20 feminine names for boys and then 20 masculine for girls. Please excuse my voice, everybody. I am fighting a cold right now, and my voice is probably like an octave higher than this usually. And one more disclaimer, I just want everyone to be aware of the fact that in our society, it is more socially acceptable to give girls more masculine names, and to question why that is. We associate things that have to do with men as like hardworking, tough, strong, independent, and we associate femininity with often being the weaker sex, or softer, or meeker, or milder. And so those aren't traits that we want to give our boys traditionally. So I encourage you to let go of your preconceived notions on names, because these are going to sound weird at first, and I'm going to put like a baby on the screen because I want you to visualize it. Names can be for anyone or anything or any pet or anything, any person. We as a society put those labels on things. So keep that in mind. My first 5 names are Audrey, Brooke, Cora, Dory, and Edith. So Audrey is another E ending sound name like Henry, and so is Dory. And then I really think Brooke is so similar to Brooks, which is already a masculine name. I also encouraged myself to find at least one name that ended in A, since that is such the epitome of like a feminine name. And I thought Cora was really cute because it reminded me of the name Corey. And I absolutely think we have Luca, we have Roma, you can do Cora for a boy. Next up, we have Fern, Gentry, Gwen, Harriet, and Lauren. I mean, do I have to explain it? These are all amazing names with interesting endings. Lauren would be so amazing on a boy. I think we've all heard Laurel. Fern is a beautiful nature-inspired name that works for anyone. I love this list. And then we have Lois, Melanie, Marlo, Nora, and Solveig. Lois would be so cool for a boy. It reminds me of Silas with that S ending. I think I'm pushing it with including Marlo because it's kind of a gender neutral name already. Nora, I forgot I found another A ending name. Amazing. Absolutely. You have Noah, Nora. Think about how similar those names are right now. say Noah and then Nora. We don't have to attach gender to names. We really don't. And Solveig is just a really interesting, beautiful Old Norse name. I was like, this is a great name. And it doesn't have any gender, in my opinion. And finally, we have Sybil, Taryn, Ruby, Willow, and Zoe. Gosh, I love this list. Ruby and Zoe for boys are just the epitome of adorableness. And Willow, again, I love that O ending. Hugo, Leo, Willow, they all work. Okay, so I gave you guys 20 options. I want to know your favorite feminine name for a boy from my list. Put it in the comments. Next up, let's move to the masculine names for girls, again with a child on the screen so that we can imagine it. The first 5 I have are Arlo, Brennan, Cade, Chase, and Ethan. Arlo, I think people are already giving this to their daughters, but I had to include it because it's just such a fantastic name. Brennan, absolutely adorable for a girl. A little Chase, like people are doing things like Hunter and Huntley. Yes, please. And Ethan, one of my favorite names. I think it works for everyone. Next up, we have Felix, Forrest, Harris, Ian, and Jasper. Think of this. Jasper, she goes by Jazz or Jazzy. How cute would that be? Also, one of my grandparents was named Forrest, and so I originally had considered it for a daughter to name her Forrest, and I stand by that wholeheartedly. I sometimes have regrets that I didn't do it. Next up, we have Johnny, Leo, Maxton, Owen, and Radley. James, we've accepted. Why not Johnny? Why not Leo? Maxton, she can go by Maxie or Maxine. I don't know. I'm obsessed. And Radley is just so cute. I just love that name so much. Finally, we have Soren, Swayze, Tobin, Truitt, and Wesley. Are you kidding me with how cute Swayze is? I mean, I'm obsessed. Also, Wesley for a girl, and she goes by Wes. I'm sorry, like the cuteness is exploding. I'm done with these papers. Okay. I think I'm spent. My cold is making this process more difficult than it has to be. Regardless, I love all these names. Names don't have a gender. Use the name you love. Put your favorite girl one in the comments, and I will see you next time. Happy naming!